What's going on, everyone? This is Dustin Stelzer with another episode of Journey to Master. How are y'all doing today? It's been a little while. I realize I've been slacking on the episodes. Electrician you also been slacking on the episodes. I'm sorry. So, a few people have asked me, those of you that follow me on Instagram, you saw that I got a new work van, so I'm not driving around my Titan anymore as a work vehicle. I actually took the ladder racks off of it. Ladder rack, not plural. Took all the ladders off, cleaned that thing out, and I am so happy to have that thing retired and just have it as my vehicle. So the boss man got me a little, what is that, a Ram City Master Pro City, something like that. The thing is really, really cool. So I'm going to do a walkthrough in a minute and just kind of show you guys what I did, because I went apeshit with fucking shelving. I went to Home Depot and bought a whole bunch of 1x12s and kind of went crazy making bins and storage compartments and put hangers everywhere all over the thing. So I'm really, really excited. I've been driving around for a few weeks now just to see how my bin out is working out. Everything's fine. I don't have a lot of storage in it because I built so many bins, and that's my goal, was to kind of have it set up like a service van so that I could have virtually one of everything, but still be able to have some room to be able to carry large boxes of stuff. So anyways, I'll show you where it's at. I don't know that this is 100% the setup that I'm going to have going forward. I may edit it a little bit just to get a little bit more storage. But for the time being, I'm super stoked about it. All right, so this is it. This is the Ram ProMaster City. Sorry, I had to look at the decal. I don't know. What I've done is I built some shelving in here, and every single one of these shelves angles up slightly. That way I can have these little bins in here, and instead of them being flat, I can actually kind of see what's inside of them. This back shelf was not deep enough. It was not steep enough, so I had to actually add some pieces of trim all the way in the back to get them to sit exactly where I want them. One cool thing I did that I'm happy about is I put a piece of 1/2-inch EMT across and I notched the wood out. That way I can just take a full boat of wire and put them together and pull them out, and I can make whips with them. But I don't have to have a rack with me anywhere, and I can just take this thing out and set it up on a ladder if I'm doing something that I can't be near my truck with. So that's kind of a neat thing. I thought this was cool. I always keep metal fish tape and a nylon fish tape, so just being able to keep both of them there. And then I've got a 50-foot number 12 extension cord. Got a 100-foot number 14 extension cord. All of them come off fairly easily. I have all these yellow bins because over the years I've had all those little DeWalt cases that they have a clear lid and you can carry them around. I've just had so many of them that have broken or whatever that I've accumulated a shitload of these little yellow things. So I've been using these for now. For the time being, it seems to work just fine. Something that I'm trying to expand, and I don't know how with the space that I have, is I need more of these tubes. So if you can see, I've got a whole bunch of plans that are back here that are just rolled up and stuffed into that cubby, but I've actually got materials in that cubby too. So it's not ideal to have that shit covering it, because then I can't see what's inside that cubby. God, saying the word cubby is weird. Cubby. I don't think I've ever even used that fucking word until now. Cubby. Okay, so I had a piece of 3-inch and a piece of 3.5-inch PVC. Some of my plans are thinner, so they can just easily fit in there. But some of them are really, really thick, and I need something that I can fit a monster plan. Oh, I just found something that's wrong. I can't get the fucking plan out. I just put this in today. God damn it. Well, as you can see, there are some flaws. But this little tray is for all of my electrical tape. Before, I had them like all stuffed into one of these little bins over there, and it just wasn't working because I could never see what colors I had, so I wanted something up here so I could just easily grab it, because that's something that we use on a really frequent basis. So I'll have to change that. But to give you guys kind of a preview of what is in these bins, obviously I've got like every kind of wire nut all the way to gray. I've got gray, orange, yellow, green, blue, red. I've got blues in there. I don't have a whole lot of like organizational like a plan to any of this yet. I've just kind of, I got this over a weekend and I had to throw everything together to be able to use the vehicle, so I'm trying to kind of think of it as I'm using it. So for the time being, like, I've got random things down in the bottom. I've got screws and zip ties and things like that, and then even lower underneath that, where the actual wheel hub is, I've got this whole area is dedicated to boxes. These are all just blue plastic boxes. The bin that's in the middle where the plan is, that's all light boxes. So I've got like bar hangers, bar hangers. I've got fan braces, anything that's like a light or a hanger of any sort. And then on the other side, this is all my metal stuff and my Carflex. But this is where I've got like 1900 boxes, masonry boxes with all metal, and this, just so it gets out of the way. Next up, the bottom shelf, kind of hard to see, but there is a ridiculous amount of screws, nuts, washers, bolts, every kind of, like, quarter 20s in there, quarter-inch nuts. I've got ground screws. I've got every kind of tech screw, self-tapper, washers, just all kinds of stuff on that shelf. And then the remaining shelves on that side is like all PVC fittings. Obviously that nipple is not PVC, but I've got like Carflex connectors, Carflex 90s, and it's all organized by 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch, 1.25 inch, and 1.5 inch. And at the end is all 2 inch, because that's mainly what we deal with. The next shelf up, I've got a smorgasbord of different breakers up there, 2-pole, 3-pole, single pole. I've got some arc faults, some dual function breakers. This goes back there. And then moving over on that same shelf, this is all metal fittings, which you can't really see. But we've got like 1/2 inch EMT, connectors, couplings, everything. Then you got 3/4, then you got 1 inch, 1.25 inch. That's the goal anyway. And then up on top is everything for MC. So pretty much all your MC connectors, singles, doubles, Romex connectors. Now, one other really cool thing that I need to step back a bit for you to see is, look at the top. It's kind of hard to see right now, but the top, I've got all my sticks, and I just took a strut strap and I screwed some strut to the top of the ceiling, and then I've got a 1/2 inch and a 3/4 bender. So check that out. And then I just took some like tiny little bungees to strap them in place. Otherwise they kind of like sit and rattle, move around. I got a 1/2 inch bender, 3/4 bender. I got my sticks. I even have a place for a broom. That's pretty dope. So the only thing that I'm really missing is a push broom. I want to get a push broom up in there too, because I use a push broom pretty often. That's just kind of sitting there for now. What else? Oh, the other things that I guess I use on a pretty frequent basis that I haven't talked about. Up here, I've got a whole bunch of different plugs, switches, GFIs, plates. Up there, more plugs, plates. There's a whole bunch of ground, lugs, anything for grounding that you would want, double lugs, gas, ground clamps, water clamps, everything for grounding pretty much. So, as you can see, the top, I've got ladders and pipe up there. I mean, this thing's long enough to be able to put 10-foot sticks of pipe on. And I got 2 8-footers, 2 6-footers. I mean, really, when you step back and look at this thing looks tiny, but I mean, I could get a 12-foot extension ladder on there. Those ladders on the top are only 8 feet, so I mean, a 12-foot extension ladder is only going to come out to like right here. As we said, it is the Ram ProMaster City edition. So, as if all that was not cool enough, you still got to see the middle section, because obviously I enclosed that. So what did I do on the other side? Check this shit out. So I made these little hangers that you can hang all of your drills from. Fucking cool, right? I got 2 different sets. So I've got like my hammer drill, my impact. I use both of them pretty interchangeably pretty often. So you can see that is what the drill hangers look like. So nothing too fancy. I mean, I literally just took like a 1.25" hole saw bit and drilled a hole, and then took my circular saw and connected the dots. It was very, very easy. I got a little shelf up here that I keep extra bits and just a little bin that I can put stuff in. Keep some fluids down here. So I've got some lube, and I've got some Pookie. I've got a splitter. I have a little like pen and pencil holder, and then I use that for all my drill bits. I mean, like I've got all these like masonry bits and hole hog bits that are long. They're like at least 12 to 18 inches long. So I got a little compartment for that too. Up on the top, you can't really see this very well, but up here is all of the chargers and batteries. What I did up top was that I put a plug strip in. So I just got like a standard plug strip from Home Depot, and it's got like 6 places to plug in up top. So I put a plug strip, and then I plugged in, we've got like 2 of every single kind of battery. So I've got my Makita stuff, my Milwaukee, my DeWalt, all the chargers are up there. And then I ran a cord from there all the way back here. You can see the cord running down right there. And when I'm on a job site, all I have to do is stick that thing out of the back of the truck, walk over to a plug it in to a building, or run an extension cord to it. And while I'm on a job, all of my batteries are up there charging. And so, if I'm in there for an hour working, I come out and just check all the batteries, flip all of them, and then walk back inside it. So I never have batteries. I never have an issue with batteries, and I don't have to lug in like 2 or 3 different kinds of chargers and all these fucking batteries all the time. They just stay in the truck. This edition of the van, I have a sealed in bulkhead, which means that this thing is completely airtight. So like the only thing that I ever have to air condition is this space. It's completely sealed in. So I'm not going to have materials come flying or tools come flying in here. And then when I turn the AC on, like literally 3 minutes, this entire thing is cold. So the next cool thing on my list of cool thingies, these are all like oscillating tools and sawzalls. They all fit in there perfectly. They got a lip. Every single thing that I did has a lip on it, so nothing can fly out at me. And there's not a lot of tolerances for the tools to like move around and shake. This, I have circular saws and grinders and just kind of some miscellaneous stuff. But the tools are so big that in order to keep them in, I needed a little bit bigger door, and I can't pull these out. So what I did is I just put these little flip up deals and I hinged this. So now if I need my circular saw, you know, I can pull my circular saw out, put it back in, there, and close my hinge. And then I utilize the middle space in the cab, so you can see how skinny this is now, but I utilize the middle, and I built all these little slots so I can have my hydraulic handheld knockout set, regular knockout set, all of my sockets. Got my little low volt fluke tester, all of my hole saws and any grinder blades, sawzall blades. We got several different DeWalt kits with like Phillips, Torx, flathead, you know, drill, like regular drill bits. And then this is my compartment of bags. So I've got like wrenches in here. I've got all my T-handles, which are Allen's. Got some hot gloves. Bottom one's all low volt stuff, just more different wrenches. Got a laser in here, blades, bits for the oscillator. And then the other side of this is set up just like my side. So my apprentice can open his door and have the same thing. He has like a little bag, you know, like a hard bag that he can put all of his non-essential stuff that he's not carrying in his bag. You know, I have 2 bags. That's it. I have 2 bags where I keep most of my channel locks and all of my roto zips and just extra tools, chisels, pencils. I've got a whole bunch of these files for like filing out pipe, you know, like large diameter pipe. But that's it. And then I just stick my actual tool belt on the side. Oh, and you got to have a place for your cowboy hat. You know, being in Texas, it's so hot that I frequently wear a cowboy hat. This bottom compartment has got some job site lights. So that's a Milwaukee job site light. That one is too. That one's actually got a magnet on it that you can... Sorry, I can't focus. It's not letting me focus. Anyways, lights. Got hammers. I got me a little Stinger vacuum down there and some towels. But that's pretty much the gist of it. So let me break through the inside really quick. The weird thing about this is there's not a lot of storage for anything. So like once you get inside, there is one tiny arm rest that both people have to share. So you're constantly bumping sweaty elbows. There's 2 little 12 volt power sources, but with the key, that little key logo on there, it means power has to be on. So these you cannot allow anything to sit and charge, like your phone or whatever, while the vehicle's off. It has to be on. It's automatic. What's really, really nifty, check this out. There's an aux port and a USB port, and the entire thing is touchscreen. So there's Bluetooth. I can jam all of my tunes on my phone. It's like clean, you know, like I can listen to my own music. It's really nice inside. It's just tiny. There's weird cup holder things. Like, look at this. They have a cup holder. Instead of there being a cup holder anywhere in the door, this cup holder is at like a 45-degree angle. So you can stick a bottle in there. And then there's another one over there, which I currently just have aspirin in. But it's another like bottle holder. And then you've got your 2 holders here, which one of them is always under somebody's arm, so it kind of sucks. So there's no storage anywhere in this thing. You can't even move your seat back. I have a rear view mirror, but I can't use it because, like, look, there's no window and it's all tools. But in the back of this thing, there's no window anyways, so I just don't need it. As far as the front of it, that's what it looks like. Looks kind of like European-ish. It's got a ladder rack on it. This is the one complaint that I have. So one complaint I have about the ladder rack is the ladder rack on my Titan was a black ladder rack that had a bar all the way down and all the way up on the top. It had one, like, I guess it had an X-axis or an X-plane on the side of these. So I could tie a strap around that bar and this bar, and I could like pull everything tight. Well, this ladder rack only has one bar across there, one bar across there, and one bar across there. So for you to strap anything, you're like strapping around, but you got to kind of get around this too so that it doesn't slide on you. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is taking the sides and welding them to the actual, because they're on like a hinged thing and they've got a little pin inside of them. So you can change them a little bit. But I think I'm going to try to get these welded in place and then weld some metal bars across it so that there's 3 planes of places to hook to, because getting ladders on and off this thing is the biggest pain in the ass. I can't use any of the strapping methods that I used to use. I used bungees, I've used Romex, I've used these little guys. They're like kayak straps. I've tried using all kinds of stuff, but alas, like most of them don't work. So I need to figure out something, because the strapping, taking ladders down, putting ladders up sucks. Like, it's the one big complaint that I have about this whole setup. So that's it, guys. That's the work van. Pretty stoked. Let me know what you think about all the crazy like compartmentalization. I think the only thing that I might change is I might take some of this down and open that side of it up and maybe build some more compartments up top or down this side, or like utilize, there's some cavities up there, so maybe have some places where I can shove tools up there. That way it would just open this up a little bit more, so I can, you know, if I get like 10 boxes of recessed cans to put in the house, or I've got like 4 panels to put in a restaurant, I can fit all of that shit in here and not have to have somebody drive a separate vehicle just to haul my materials for me, which is fine. We've got like, I don't know, 12, 14 people that work for the company, so there's a lot of different vehicles that we have. Most people have multiple vehicles on their jobs anyway, so really it's not that big of a deal. But I'm going to work with this for a little while longer and just see over the next like month or so how it works out, and I'll let you guys know if I change anything about it. So some neat tidbits about this van. This is a 2016 Ram ProMaster City. So it has Bluetooth. There's a lot of like functionality that I can play with. It's got an all right sound system. I very quickly max the speakers out. Like, I can just hear the speakers trying really hard. There's not a lot of bass or anything. So if you listen to hip hop, or like if you like things with like a thick bass, you're not gonna get it. It's not overly trebly. It's just there's no subs and there's no like big 6x9s like Bose or anything like that. So it gets roughly like 20 to 22 miles per gallon depending on how I'm driving it. But that's really good. I mean, for a van, you know, for a compact van, it's got more of a payload than an F-150. So like, it comes with a towing package, and you can tow trailers with it and it'll do just fine. It handles pretty well. Like, I feel like I'm in this little go-kart kind of. It is tall. I mean, it's as tall as my Titan is when they're parked side by side. The roof of this van is the same height as the roof of my Titan, which my Titan's not really like a tall truck, and my Titan has a leveling kit on it, so it's not really a true accurate or a true like representation of the total height. But it's surprisingly big and roomy for how it looks on the outside. It has a backup camera on it and a backup beeper. So because you can't see anything out of the damn rear view mirror, I can look at my little touchscreen display and I can back up, and there's actually a backup camera. And it's not a shitty one. Like my wife's Prius has a really bad one. It's just like, you can tell it's old and laggy, and it's kind of like fisheyed almost, so you don't get really like an accurate representation of what's behind you. This thing is pretty, like, I guess it's got a good resolution maybe. It just seems accurate, and it seems wide, so I can really see almost like I would have a rear view mirror in that display. I think that's it. I mean, it's got cruise control. It's nothing like super fancy. It's just nice. It's really, really nice. I love working out of this fucking thing, and it's easy to keep clean too. You know, there's not like rear seats and carpets and all of that stuff. All the floors are, you know, like plastic pretty much. The rubber mats, there's no fabric anywhere on the rubber mats, so the rubber mats you just take out, dump out, put back in, and that's it. The only struggle really is trying to make it not smell like severe man ass. Having a bunch of dudes riding and sweating in that thing all day, every day. I've had like little air filter smell scent thingy dingies trying to like keep it new car scented or ocean breeze scented. But, you know, first world problems. Like the biggest problem I have every day is smelling the fucking ass of the guy sitting next to me. That's always the case though, you know. So that's it.